What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am back at my favourite dealership, Via Moto Sheffield. Last time I was here we tested the Aprilia RS660, if you remember. That was probably my most well received video. But there was a huge amount of comments on that video. What's it going to be like compared to Tuono? Is it as good as the Tuono? Will I fit on the Tuono? Is XYZ better on the Tuono? And at the time, the Tuono had not been released. It's still not actually officially released. I think the Aprilia announcement is in about 8 hours' time. So nobody yet in the UK has ridden one of these on UK roads. Having said that, I've looked after you all. So I managed to somehow managed to blag myself a go on one early. Big thanks to Gary at Via Moto Sheffield and the whole of Via Moto Sheffield for helping me out with this. Thanks to Aprilia as well. By the time this gets released, there might be some early embargo videos already gone out, so I'll try and get this out as quickly as possible. But I'm going to do an in-depth review like I did on the RS660, probably a little bit shorter video than that because there'll be a lot of similarities. But I'll give you my complete honest opinion from a normal, everyday numpties viewpoint, not some ex-racer, like I said on the last video. If you haven't seen that video, look up here. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to that. The Tuono is one of the most loved bikes on my channel for some reason. Everybody loves it, and seeing it in 660 form is going to be pretty cool. So let's talk more action. Let's get out on it, and I'll let you know what I think. Right, I'm very much looking forward to this. Aprilia Tuono 660. Let's see what all the hype's about, shall we? Let's go. Okay, so Tuono 660. I've got really lucky getting this bike so early. Again, massive thanks to Gary and Via Moto. They really looked after me with this. Nobody's ridden one of these yet. Yeah, so look, you know how these reviews work. I'm going to compare this a bit more than I would do normally to its partner bike. This will be an in-depth review, but I'll make some comparisons at the end and let you know what I think is the better option. But yeah, what I normally do on these things, if you do or don't know, I'll give you my sort of quick 5 minutes impressions leaving the dealership, go and ride it, give you some proper in-depth impressions, and then ride it for the rest of the day and wrap up and then compare it. That's kind of how we do this. I'm not looking at this as a, you know, ex-racer. I've said this before in previous videos, but I'm just a normal person. You know, I'm not measuring this with a view to getting an extra 3/10 around a lap. Yeah, this is just a normal dude riding a normal bike. Okay, that being said, first impressions are, it's lovely. It's so comfortable. It's you're sat upright like a Super Naked, but you're not quite, a bit like the factory. Feels a little bit more upright than the 1100 factory I rode, but you're not quite bolt upright like some sit up and beg style. That's what I call them anyway. It's a really nice balance. That's how it feels. Oh, the sound the sound's the same as the RS660, i.e. amazing. This V-twin engine's phenomenal. Oh, I really like the Super Naked version, Super Naked bikes, and this middleweight one actually might be a smarter choice for UK roads. Just taking it fairly steady because we've got literally brand new tyres. They're not scrubbed in or anything. Ah, beautiful. Oh.
Yeah, the noise is amazing. Gearbox is lovely. Like I said, I did the same thing. I'm going to try and take this on similar routes and similar roads to what I did the RS660, because I want to give you a good comparison, because everybody's asking me the same flipping questions. So I'm hoping I can answer them in this video. The power and the mid-range, I promise you, it's plenty. It's absolutely plenty. Look, 4th gear. Oh, beautiful. There's a nice little surge of power. The bike feels, it feels really light and sort of pleasantly nimble underneath me. It feels, like I say, it feels fairly similar, surprise, surprise, to the RS version, but just sort of wider bars. I'm obviously sat a bit more upright. Yeah, let me get these tyres scrubbed in a little bit, so we can get some proper cornering action. Today actually is, funnily enough, is probably the first day in the UK this year that we've had rideable weather. Or I'd call rideable weather. I mean, I know I've done test rides in some shitty weather, but this is like proper, you know, okay for biking weather. You'll probably get quite a few bikers out today. It's still nippy, but anyway, look, it's not a weather report. Brakes are fantastic. The general feel of it's lovely. Again, when you look at the bars and the build quality and the paintwork, the new dashboard's lovely. You know, it's a nice little step up from the last one. It's not as good as some of the others, I'll be honest. I don't want to be too biased here, because I do love these bikes, but the dashboard's just a sort of coloured version, but it's got a fuel gauge. Imagine being amused by that or impressed by that in 2021. But still, look, fuel gauge, not to be sniffed at. Just take it steady around here. Yeah, there's plenty of power. Let's give it some up here. Oh, surge at the top end! Lovely! Hoppers. Lovely little surge at the top end. So okay, right, first impressions leaving the dealership. Standout things for me, similar to the RS, the noise, the mid-range. There's a lovely little surge at the top end. I'm not sure I felt on the RS660, but I couldn't quite open that up as much as I can this, because it's not as dry. So the engine and the sound, the build quality feels lovely. It's so comfortable. I'll give you a comfort report later, but initial impressions are it's so comfortable and it just feels well built. Nice and light and flickable. Not quite as light and flickable as the RS, but then it was never going to be. You wouldn't expect that. Yeah, oh my god, this is cool. How am I going to decide between this and the RS660? That is going to be a tough one. Look, it's done 9 miles. Look at the odometer. 9 miles, literally brand new. Gary's such a star. Via Moto are such legends for letting me use this. I really, really appreciate them. Anyway, so yeah, look, that's first 5 or 10 minutes. It's amazing. I was always going to say that, right? We knew that. It's a fantastic thing. Like the noise in the mid-range, like I said before, all that stuff's great. But let's go and ride this a bit now and get some seat time on it, and then we'll make a decision. So right, yeah, let's so right, yeah, that's my quick sort of 5-10 minute review. that's my first initial impressions. Amazing, obviously. It was going to be. Let's go and ride it, get some seat time in it, and I can give you a bit more of an educated opinion. We'll go and take it on some different sorts of roads, twisties, motorways, fast sweepers, and I can give you a real good, honest, sort of down-to-earth review and comparison, importantly, to the RS model. So yeah, let's check back in later. So just thought I'd check back in. Oh my god, look at the crap on the road. Fucking farmers. Sorry, I just about to try and avoid instant death. Yeah, look, I'm checking back in. I've done a bit more time on this now, just been running around some twisties and getting a feel for it, and I thought I'd give you a sort of a, you know, half hour to an hour review, and then I'll do a sort of more in-depth one later on as I've spent the rest of the day on it, and then conclude at the end. And this is a bike, mate. Oh my god, this is a bike. I'm not saying that it's better or worse than the RS660 yet, because, and I can't anyway, I can only say what I think. Like, everybody's got different wants and requirements, but Jesus, it's good. It feels faster. I'm not sure it is faster, just I think the conditions are watch out, darling. I think the conditions are enabling me to have a bit more confidence to ride it a little bit quicker, apart from the road of doom that I've just been down. We feel the top end, like there's a surge. Oh, there's like a lovely surge at the top end. You get like the mid-range. You get the mid-range and then you get a surge at the top as well. Like, call this middleweight all you want, I don't care. This is amazing. I cannot honestly say, and I know I said this about the RS, but I cannot see why life me. Cheers, love. I can't see for the life of me why anyone would want any more than this on the road. It's nuts. The front wheel hovering in first gear, little bit of a wheelie thing. I'm not very good at wheelies. You'll see an upcoming video. I'm going to teach myself how to wheelie on the dirt bike. Oh my god, that should be funny. But yeah, look, comfort levels, comfort, fabulous, really nice, seats beautiful. I could ride around on this all day. But to be honest, you know, the RS one you could as well, frankly. This is going to be much more suitable for maybe people who are slightly older, slightly not as bendy and flexible as they once were. I'm fast approaching that age. Oh, not quite. Comfort's great. The engine, like I said, just the whole linear power mode, the whole linear powertrain. Like you get a decent low down grunt, you get a chunky mid-range, and then you get a surge at the top as well, which is weird for a V-twin. A lot of V-twins just sort of run out a puff at the top, but this seems to just want to pull and pull to about 11.5, which is wonderful. And the more you rev it, the more that noise gives you a little a little tickle through the seat of your bum. Yeah, look, I really love this bike. I'm not being too data driven in this little bit, but I'll get to it in a bit. Anybody who wants the specs, I'm going to do what I usually do with specifications. I'm not a big believer in specs or judging a bike based upon specs. I think we get too carried away with it. You know, they don't mean anything. But look, if anyone's interested in the specs of the bike, the horsepower, the weight, etc., I'm going to put them all up on screen now for you to have a look at. Ping! Alright, now you've got that out of your system. Like I said, the only spec you should care about is what does it make you feel like. Literally, that's it. And the only way you're going to do that is ride it. So, hit Gary up, Via Moto Sheffield. I'll put his details on screen now. And go and ride them. And like, if you've got questions, I will compare the two, don't worry. When we get to the end of this video, I'll tell you what my comparison between the two is. But, go and ride them both. Gary will give you a demo on them. You know, if you're seriously thinking about buying one of these bikes, Gary will have no problem in letting you test ride them. And that's the only spec you should care about. And this, you know, an hour in is just awesome. Like, I mean, it's at least as good as the RS660. Being honest, it feels a bit better. Depends on what you like the looks of as well. That's a big thing for me with bikes. I'm a bit of a tart, frankly. I want to, you know, I've got a Ducati come in, and do I need a Ducati? No. It's the most ridiculous financial decision I've ever made in my life. But I want a Ducati because I'm a tart. So, and I know I'm not the only person in the world like that. But look, these twisters, it gives you a lot of confidence. Just to get back to some sort of review. You know, you can overtake things in fourth gear, no problem. The handling's sublime. Can't go too crazy, we're on the UK roads. But yeah, like sort of an hour in, I love it. Everything I've said about the engine and the noise remains. The brakes are great, the comfort's amazing. Suspension feels better on this than the RS. But I heard maybe that RS had a bit of needed a rebound adjustment after somebody who used it before me, but I will mention no names. The suspension feels much better on this, actually. The rear feels nicer, and it's eating up and soaking the bumps well. So yeah, look, I'm going to go and spend the rest of the day on this. Those are sort of my early and mid-point thoughts on it. Do some flybys. I'll do a walk around of it in a bit as well. Let you have a look at it. We'll go through the dashboard in detail and see how you feel. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit more riding now. Right, so we've had a good amount of time on this bike now. Yeah, as I was saying, we've had a good amount of time on this bike now. I've been buzzing around on it for a while. I think I'm capable of making a good comparison now and giving my sort of in-depth thoughts on it. So, well, let's just start from like the basics. So, what does the what's the drivetrain like? Well, it's amazing. Look, it's same as the RS660. The power is. This feels faster. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a placebo effect because the weather's nicer. It feels a bit more hooligan, just a little bit. There just feels to be a bit more top end on this bike, and I'm sure that's probably not the case, but that definitely does. I've only got it in commute at the minute, but you've got three modes: commute, dynamic and individual. Same as the RS660, you can set various individual settings. I'll show you that in a bit when we have a little walk around. I'll leave it in dynamic, that feels like the best. The throttle is super responsive, really smooth. Brakes are phenomenal, really good. You know, we're going about Brembos all the time, but I'm not sure how these would hold up on a track day. But I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But for what I'm doing out here on the roads at a spirited pace, they're pretty tasty brakes. Yeah, the drivetrain's beautiful. The whole drivetrain, like I said about the RS660, the low down power, the mid-range, the big surge at the top end, coupled with the noise and the silky gearbox and throttle, that whole streamlined train is just brilliant. Really stand out on this bike. I honestly, again, I know I repeat myself sometimes in videos. But to get the point across, I don't think you need any more power on the road. I just don't. Anyone who tells me that you do, I just think you're just willy waving, frankly. Yeah, the bike feels light, feels manageable and flickable. It's so composed in the bends. The suspension on this model is better than the RS660. It feels slightly firmer, more composed in the bends, but it's also soaking the bumps up. Not quite as like Olin's level, but well good enough. So yeah, the handling's sublime on this. The comfort's just, well, I mean, it's a Tuono, man. I mean, it's the seat's lovely, nice and upright. I've been riding around for ages. I've no weight on the wrists at all. My back's not aching. It's beautiful. The build quality, I always say this about Aprilias, but Aprilias have got the most beautiful build quality. They just have that sort of special vibe about them. Like I keep saying, the paint and this red, like sumptuous paint here. Sumptuous, what a word. Everything just looks and feels nice to the touch. The dashboard, I said about the R660 again, it's okay. It's an improvement. It's still fairly basic. You do not need more power. You do not need it on the road. That's amazing. I love this thing. Sorry. Okay, I'll grow up again now. I'll talk like a grown up. Oh my god. Yeah, the dashboard's, it's fine. It's an improved version of the other one. There are better ones, but it's got everything you want, and it's got a fuel gauge. End of story. So that'll do. That'll ding dang do for me. What else do I need to tell you about? Fuel economy seems good, but who cares about fuel economy? It's a motorbike. Christ. Wind protection's much better, I think, than the RS660. Feels it anyway, weirdly. I don't know why, it just does. I've been on some fast roads. I'm going to head back to the dealership on the motorway just to reconfirm that. So just give it a bit of a run on the motorway, see how we feel. Obviously a lot of people are going to want to know how this is going to be for long journeys and touring and stuff. So we're doing what? Legal motorway speed, 68, 70 miles an hour. There's a bit of buffeting. It's quite a windy day. Nothing unreasonable. I don't think it's any worse, if not even slightly better actually than the 660. But again, that might have just been different conditions on the day. It's certainly similar. You know, with naked bikes, you're never going to get massive wind protection on the motorway, but this is fine. I'm not getting in ahead. I'm just getting it on the arms a little bit. But it's not horrendous. Like I say, it is pretty windy today, so yeah, motorway check. Yeah, the sound of it again though, the sound of it is just, for a stock bike on stock cans, it's brilliant. But most of all, like all these specs and things aside, it's got that special something that bikes need. You know, bikes are emotional, right? It's an emotional purchase. Nobody really needs a bike, not many people. You don't buy a bike like this because you need it. Not many will buy this to commute on, although some will actually. To be fair, I retract that to a point. Some people will commute on this and they'd have a real nice time on it because it's smooth, it's easy, it's comfortable. It'd be a brilliant all-round bike, this. Oh my god, I love this bike. Aprilia just do it right, man. They just do it right. Yeah, I've tested this thing on mixture roads now, and it's just performed impeccably, really. I'm trying to think of any negatives. It's tough. It's like the other one. I'm not just saying it. Hopefully, the people who've watched this channel for a while will know that if something needs calling bullshit on, I will call it. I don't care who I upset. I tell the truth. I'm struggling to find much fault with this. Do you know what? Actually, So this is a subjective thing, but what do you think about the looks of it? In fact, you know what? Let's pull over, let's have a walk around of the bike, and let's talk about the looks. And you guys make your own mind up about that, because some people may like it, some people may dislike it. I'm keen to get your opinion in the comments, but let's have a walk around the bike now.
Right, so let's have a walk around this. Looks are always a bit difficult to judge, it's always a bit subjective. But I've just got back from this now, from the test ride. And I'm back at the dealership. And honestly, let me turn the lights on, because the LEDs are super important. They make a big difference. Look at these LEDs, look at that. Holy shit, how cool do they look? About time, Aprilia. I really like this. I think it looks absolutely stunning. I love the exhaust, similar to the RS, obviously. Look at the exhaust down there. It just looks mean, it looks squat, you've got wings here. Or, I don't know what you call these really. I don't know what their aerodynamic effect is, but they look fucking cool. I love this. I really do. From a comparison point of view, being honest with you, it's just what you like the look of. They both ride fairly similar. This feels a bit more hooligan-y, I think, because the bars are wider, you're sat up a bit more upright. It feels like it's got a touch more poke, but again, I probably need to ride the RS in conditions like this, because I think it's more of a confidence thing and I could get on the throttle better. From a comparative point of view, like I say, they brake the same. The RS probably steers a bit quicker, but this is a bit more comfortable. You probably, well, obviously be better off on a track with the RS version. But again, how many people are going to take these on track and how often? Probably not that often. They're both absolutely phenomenal bikes, and I've probably said this 3 times in the video, and you'll get on at me for repeating myself, but you don't need anything more. The power is brilliant. It's mid-range and a big whoosh at the top end. It'll pull little power wheelies out first. Fucking love it. I really love it. I would buy, so the question is, I'm 6 foot. Oh yeah, people ask me this all the time. So I'm 6 foot. I was 16 stone, but I'm probably like 17 with all the lockdown pies I'm eating. I fit on this. I felt both of them well. You know, 6 foot, 183 centimetres for anybody who's a metric, so you'll fit on either of them well. But just come and ride them. Come and see Gary at Via Moto. They'll look after you. But I guess the question that everybody's wanting to know, what would I buy if it was my money? I'd buy that. I definitely would. I think for what I would want that bike for, I just like the way that it looks. I like the way that it makes me feel. I'd definitely buy that. I love the RS660, but that has got just a bit of me written all over it. So yeah, that's my opinion. So look, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the bike. Please come and ride one of these bikes. Please ride the bikes. They're absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate that. Loads of subscribers again. Don't keep liking and subscribing to the video as well, as far as I'm concerned, but I appreciate it. Yeah, look, I'll be loads of cool content. There's a Catty coming on Monday, and there's going to be some hella fun content. So, look, time to wrap it up. Hit the like and subscribe button if you do, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.